Good evening, folks. I just want to come on here in these late hours to talk about Marcellus Williams. Okay? We've seen this before. And you know they say art often imitates life. I'm reminded of a Boondocks episode with Shabazz K. Milton, to which Huey fought long and hard to try to get this man off of death row to receive clemency. And today we are revisited by the same sort of sentiment. The prosecution, as well as the victims and defense, have gone all the way to Supreme Court of that state, and they've tried to get this into the hands of the Supreme Court on the federal level to advocate for clemency for Williams. Like, it's sad that even in the face of all this evidence and nothing matching up, you're still going to put a black man to death in a state who has a history of racist wrongdoings when it comes to black folks. Right now, we're in the darkest hour, and I pray that this governor decides to halt this execution. What I don't understand is how people can look at this mountain of evidence saying that this man didn't do it and literally still go through with it. There are so many holes in this case, you can drive a damn truck through it. And yet here we are, at the very end, still advocating for this man's life. Our justice system has let so many people go, even though the evidence directly points at them as being the culprit of these crimes. But yet, when you have a man who I believe is innocent, and the evidence points to him being innocent, you want to hold him liable, despite the evidence saying he's not. What happened to innocent until proven guilty? It's like, over the years, the justice system has been turned on its head, and the reverse is true. This is how you get these slogans: believe all certain groups of people. That the victim has no burden of proof, whereas the prosecution, the burden of proof should be on the prosecution. Like, when does this stop? When does it stop? Is it justice or just us? You know, my prayers go out to this man and his family. I'm praying, because this is not the first time that this has happened, that there was a call to action for somebody being executed, and we will never know the truth, because there have been several times where I stayed up late at night hoping and watching the news to see if the governor of that particular state would make the phone call. See, this is in the governor's hands. He can call this off anytime. And I hope that at a minimum, that if he doesn't, people remember this stain on his record. He can go down there and have the prosecutors, everybody, bring the evidence to him, right to his doorstep. He has that much power. Him and his team could go through all the documents, because as far as I've read, there's no DNA linking this man to the scene of the crime. Even the people around him say he wasn't there. But yet, y'all still want to go through it. It's absolutely sickening that it seems that people would rather somebody pay for this crime. It doesn't matter who. And especially if it's a black face. Guess what? N-word, you're it. And that's what it looks like to me. And if I'm wrong and he actually did it, hell, he should serve his life in prison. I don't think you're doing the family any justice by taking this man's life away at this point, if he's in fact guilty. Suffering for the rest of his life for taking your loved one's life is the only payment that I see that would be worthy of such a crime. But let's think for a second. What if this man, and I believe he's innocent, can you live with the fact that you put an innocent man to death? Can you live with the fact that you got it wrong in the face of all this evidence? Come on now. So many questions, so many things we got to deal with. I pray that he makes it out of this. I mean, this is no different than what they did with the Central Park 5. Even in the absence of evidence, y'all put these men in prison for decades. One for decades. When are we going to stop doing this to black men? Not we, but when are they going to stop doing this to black men? Marcellus Williams, you're in my prayers, and the brothers in the space, I hope y'all pray for this man as well. Whatever you believe in, that energy from that hope, your prayers, all of it helps. And that's all I got for you, man. Peace and salute to black men.